All right, so heads up. I wanted to talk a little bit about my character for the upcoming Symbaroum session two. Uh, this is a continuation of the last Symbaroum session. This is David. We are now rotating, so I GM the icebreaker. David is now GMing this session, and it's going to be myself and Dell. And hopefully we can get one more person. Justin, unfortunately, is just too busy. Just cannot do it. So it's unfortunate. Justin had a great character there in Vikamer with his wolf Midnight, his familiar. So we're gonna miss Justin unfortunately on Saturday, but maybe we can find somebody else to join us for this Saturday afternoon, Saturday night. But I thought, again, thrilled to be doing this. I love Symbaroum, and this will be the first time I've ever had a chance to be a player in Symbaroum, so this is outstanding. So I want to go ahead and talk about my character, Taro, Ranger, human Ambrian. His shadow is a shimmering green with gold twists. His accuracy, which is almost combat exclusively, is 13. His cunning is 9. His discreet is 11. His persuasive is 5. So he will not be convincing many people to do things through conversation. His quickness is his 15. This determines his initiative order as well as his base defense. Fantastic. Resolute 9, strong 7, and his vigilance is 11. Um, Remember this: you get a choice. You have a group of numbers you can assign, or you can point by. I assigned them. I actually have 2 more points than the normal character would because of my abilities, which I will get to in a second. So my defense is 15 with armor is actually 14. Remember, defense is how to avoid being hit. That would be a dodge or a parry. That's what defense would mean narratively. I'm dodging it or parrying it. If I'm hit, then my armor doesn't soak. Okay, so defense is how you avoid being hit. It's reverse armor class is the gist of that. Okay, corruption threshold is 5. That's half my resolute rounded up. My toughness is 10. Those are my hit points. And again, your hit points are based on your strength. If it's below 10, then you get 10 as your base hit points. My pain threshold is half my strength, which is rounded up, which is 4. Which any damage I take that causes 4 more points in one hit, it's not a combined number of hits. It's one hit. So if I get hit by 4 bandits and they do 12 points of damage, if none of them do more than 4, I don't get knocked down. But if anything hits you in one hit and does more than 4, you are actually knocked to the ground, and you have to get up on your next turn or play. You can, stay on the ground and fight from there, but they're going to have an advantage against you. My permanent corruption, of course, currently is 0. My temporary corruption is 0. My traits, I have a contact, which we will probably figure out come session time, as we haven't discussed anybody I might know. That's based, by the way, on my Ambrian human race. So your trait for the human is contacts. Then I took from my abilities exceptional attribute, and that means I get to add a point to my vigilance score. So technically this should have been a 10, so it goes up to an 11. And a second ability I chose, you can do this as many times as you want. Exceptional attribute is discreet, and that pushed up my ability to sneak a little bit to 1. I did this for a couple of reasons. One, this game uses attributes for all checks. There are no other avenues to do checks in this game, so attributes are very important. Number 1. Number 2, I wanted to be old school and not have any feats or abilities. I wanted this to be basically like playing an old school D&D character where there's no feats, no. So I kind of thought that would be fun and cool. Now, obviously, as I level up, I'll probably have to start adding some things that help me, stay alive, so to speak. I chose my weapon instead of a two-handed bow or something. I chose pike. I wanted a precision-based long weapon. What's great about the pike is a couple of things. One, long means I get to go first, and if they move, I get to generally get a free attack long range. And it's a precise weapon, which means it gives me +1 to all of my attack tests. So when I attack with this weapon, I'm gonna have a 14 accurate minus their defense, or their defense modifier. But also, it's long, which means even with my quickness 15, I'm probably going to go first most of the time. In armor, it's 14. But this is going to guarantee me on that first round, in entering into combat, I get to go first. I also went ahead and took a dagger for my second weapon, and then I purchased with my 5 thalers the short sword single-handed. So I technically am got a lot of melee weapons here. No ranged weapons. I can throw the dagger, at some level if I had to, but I took a woven silk, flexible. Again, because it's flexible, it's only a -1 to my defense as opposed to -2, which is standard light armor. And it'll soak 1d4 damage against me per successful attack. So I'm feeling pretty good about my defense and the soak. Not great as it is light armor, but I'm feeling pretty good about my defense. And I'm going to go first most of the time, unless we're surprised or something. Background: Taro is a mountain ranger and hunter. He has traveled far from his home in Radina because he has turned his attentions on the Davalkar. It is adventure and his curiosity of the Davalkar that motivate his participation in these expeditions. So he used to be a mountain ranger down by the Titan Mountains, and he's decided to move north to the area around Thistlehold and throw his hat in the ring as an adventurer. Appearance, personality: Taro is average in height, 5'8", 165 pounds. He wears heavy dark hair, loose about his shoulders. His eyes are small and brown, beady, one might say. He takes naturally to martial combat and never turns from a good fight. He has trained himself to be observant and discreet in his movements. This sentence pertains directly, narratively, to my exceptional traits. So, to make sense of how my character is improved, his vigilance and his discreet rating, I've narratively said he is trained to be better at these things. An intense and disciplined person in all things, Taro tends to say only what need be said. So he's laconic. He's a laconic person. Personal goal: to be immortalized in poem and song. His quote: "They will tell of my actions, deeds, and sing my legend long after I am gone." This is why he's chose to do this. He wants to be successful, celebrated, and ultimately remembered long after he's dead. And to do that, he figures the only way to do that is adventure, is riches, or is doing something the world would acknowledge. Then we didn't do this in session 1, but I thought we don't have a group name because they weren't quite even a group. So I just gave us a name: RK Recovery and Restorers of Fine Arts and Artifacts. It just sounds like RK is Rigel, the goblin who is our sponsor. So, it's like he's sponsoring our little group that we call ourselves Recovery and Restorers. We're technically treasure hunters. The group goal I just put to recover and restore fine relics and artifacts. We also have every character starts the game with equipment that is listed in a paragraph on page 78. I wasn't going to type all that up, so I just made note that on page 78 is all the equipment we start with. And then money: I did spend my 5 thalers to get this short sword, so I have multiple options in combat, melee combat. And that is Taro, the Human Ranger. So anyway, one of the things I love about this is we don't have to make a traditional ranger. I didn't have to make a ranger and make sure he had all the ranger highlights and then pick bows and missile weapons or whatever, right? Or animal familiar. I mean, I can make my own version of a ranger hunter. And one of the things I like about this kind of character, Jen, is not every it's easy to generalize human beings, but the reality is we are all different, and I like something where my ranger I could be a ranger, but be completely different than, say, Jose's ranger if we were in a group together, or a fighter, etc. So one of the things I love about Symbaroum is you can sculpt your character your way. So very, very happy that we're going to be playing this quickly. I wasn't certain how long it would take us to get the next game going, so I'm thrilled that we're doing this in a couple of days. Also, again, I chose to go, instead of with feats or certain abilities that are combat-oriented or give me a special power, I went with a +1 kick to my base attributes of Vigilant and Discreet, and we'll see how he fares. This will make it easy for David because he doesn't have to know any special abilities. I don't have any special abilities that as a GM he needs to know how that affects play. So I'm making it pretty darn easy on all of us as far as this. This to me is old school. You could play Symbaroum in a very old school way. You could just remove a lot of those kind of feats and things and play this like an old school game. So anyway, there is Taro, and Adele's going to be returning as Shig, the goblin self-taught mystic. And again, we right now I'm great going with just two players and David GMing us, so that's fine. I love small groups, 3-4 people, 5 people tops, and but it would be fun if we can get a third person going this Saturday. But if not, Dell and I will be more than enough to adventure with David running this. I cannot wait. David's fantastic, great GM. So I can't wait to see what David's got in store for us. All right. Thank you all for watching. Everybody have a great weekend. Good day.